I need to begin with talking about your comfort zone and how to step outside of your comfort zone, because this, I believe this with all of my heart. Anyone here who's talking about where they want to go, that dream, that passion, that's here. You're here. The only way to get here is to grow this circle. And I believe that it comes from taking small steps every day to step outside of your comfort zone so that you widen that circle more and more so that it at least intersects the big one, hopefully taking it over, because you want to make magic happen and I want to help you do it. Okay, because we're going to be talking about relationships, and I'm actually going to do a DISC mini assessment with you here because we're going to use some of those strategies later on, I want to talk about how the iceberg applies in my world. A lot of people use the iceberg analogy in psychology. The top part is your conscious mind, the bottom part is your subconscious mind. It's really cool. I use it when it comes to relationships. The top part is what people show you or tell you. The bottom part is what makes them do the things that they do. Right? This is the part down here that when you delve a little deeper, this is what helps you really get to know each other. And I'm going to be talking about how we can serve others and how we can build stronger connections in business, in your personal life, and with yourself by delving a little bit deeper. Right? The top part isn't what killed the Titanic. It was the stuff that we don't know. So we're going to delve a little bit deeper today. Yeah, we're going to try that little baby step outside of your comfort zone right now. Okay, the question is first, are you outgoing and direct or reserved and indirect? Just answer. You don't have to answer on paper. I'm going to ask you to do something with this once you get your response. If you are outgoing and direct, stand up. If you're more reserved and indirect, stay seated. Wonderful. Excellent. Stay there for a moment. Don't sit back down. I saw you. I have incredible peripheral vision, just so you know. My boys hate that. Okay, now this question is only of the people that are standing. Are you more competitive and directing or more talkative and interactive? Really? You should be standing?
What, me?
Yes.
Wait.
Go back.
Did I not listen well?
Are you more outgoing and direct or reserved and indirect?
Outgoing and direct.
Okay, okay.
You don't think?
We'll go with it. We'll go with it. Okay.
She introduced herself to me. She came up to me, so she was.
Okay. Okay. Good. You have a. Okay. So more competitive and directing or more talkative and interactive?
I feel all four.
Well, this is a forced response, so you got to choose one, okay? So if you are more competitive and directing, stay where you are. If you are more talkative and interactive, come over here and try not to distract the rest of us, please.
Just those standing, right?
Just those standing. Your question is going to be next. Thank you. The next question is only for the people that are seated. Are you more accepting and doing or more assessing and thinking? If you chose more accepting and doing, raise your hand. If you chose more assessing and thinking, stay right where you are. Okay. Now, the people that are standing, you are Ds. I am so impressed that you Is did not just take over with conversation. You guys are Is.
She thinks I'm a D.
100%, yes. Okay, and for the people with their hand raised, you are S's. And for the people that are just seated, you are C's. Can I just tell you, once we talk more about this, I am so impressed that we have so many C's here today, because that doesn't usually happen. That's fantastic. Okay, you can go back and sit down and we'll talk about what this means. Okay. What? No. Okay, let's talk about this for a moment. First of all, This is more of a superficial assessment. When we do the actual assessment, it's on the computer. You get 15 pages of printouts, and I need you to understand that no one is one dimension, one style. This is purely for conversation right here. Most of you, and if there were any questions, it means that you probably have two fairly high. And sometimes it's a little harder to figure out which one you are. But that's why it's forced response. It helps you really figure it out. But for today, for conversation purposes and to learn a little something to be able to use it later on, we're going to go with this. So let me ask, of my high Ds, do you tend to think of yourself as someone who takes action? Yeah? Yes? Maybe sometimes a little bit of a risk taker. And on occasion, other people might think that you're a little too direct. Yes. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for your honesty, Ds. Our Is. Are you really good with people? Yes, yeah. Do you, probably great in a sales role or a presenting role, and your desk may be a little messy. Okay, good, good. Glad we're on the right page here. All right, high S, are you the only one? High S's. Okay.
Because I don't feel safe.
It's not for safe, it's for steadiness. High S's tend to be very loyal, very much team players. Great to have our high S's on the team. Am I close here? Is this good? I don't actually think you're an S. And high S's tend to be a little resistant to change. I don't think you're an S. I don't think you were paying attention. Okay. Oh. Okay, we'll talk about that later. All right, and our C's, we have a lot of you here. C's tend to be very conscientious. They like to have the T's crossed and the I's dotted. Yes, is this good? Yes, right? Yes, okay. And maybe a little bit more reserved. Okay, and sometimes people might think you're a little too reserved and that you don't open up enough. Is this accurate for our C's? Yes? Okay. All right, good. And as you can tell, because they didn't answer verbally, they are less talkative. So it's going to be fun. So why do we talk about this? Why do I use the DISC as a tool? This is why it's important. The DISC is a behavioral analysis. It is not a personality test. I love working with the DISC because we can adapt our behavior to be more effective. You can use it as a tool to figure out what your strengths are, the areas that you might want to adapt to be more effective when you figure out other people's styles, because it's about relationships, primarily the relationship that you have with you, and then ultimately the relationship that you have with each and every person that you meet. Okay? So we're just going to learn a little bit more about this, and then we're going to use it. Okay, so who here has seen the show Cheers? Okay, good. I love this one because Cheers is filled with stereotypes. And it's just easy when you're trying to figure out what somebody else is. It's easy on a show like Cheers. So if we're looking at these, are what the high Ds need. They need brief, direct communication. They like to initiate. They're leaders. They focus on results, and they like to work independently. Yes, we're still on target here, Ds? Okay, excellent, excellent. So who on Cheers would be a D? This is important.
Who's the owner of the bar? Can he be the Sam? Sam.
No,
But the female,
the manager.
the little one.
The psychiatrist.
Right?
Carla.
The little Carla. Carla is a high D. And since we're picking out stereotypes, high Ds, don't be offended, but she is really in your face direct. Okay, so sometimes our high Ds can be very direct that way. So yes, very good. Our high Is need friendly interaction. They like to verbalize their thoughts and feelings. They like public recognition for accomplishments. And they need written details. They don't want to be the one to write down the details. They want someone else to give it to them because they're not really going to pay attention if you just tell them all the things that they need to do. I'm a high I, so I can pick on the high Is. I just want to refer back to the third one. If you have a strong desire to tell me that I'm awesome, feel free at any time. So our high Is. Who on Cheers is a high I? Sam, he is so charming and outgoing. Definite high I. Thank you. Our high S's, they like relaxed cooperation, consistency, stability, sincere appreciation. If you want to tell a high S that they're doing a good job, you can go over. Michael, thank you so much for helping me out this week. I really appreciate it. Okay. Their contribution, they want to know that their contribution is important to the overall good. It's really good to have a high S on your team. It's really hard to pick out the high S sometimes, so it's important for us to try to figure out who on Cheers would be a high S.
Cliff.
Why? He's at the same time every day, sitting in the same stool, drinking the same beer, right? So yes, good job. Excellent. All right. Our high C's, they need clear expectations and deadlines. They like precision and focus. They don't need to socialize. High I's stop talking about the weather to the C's. And their high standards, they like when they're valued because it's important to them and they want other people to understand that it's important as well. So high C's, that's right? Who on Cheers is a high C? Diane, definitely. There's another one I'm thinking of too. Fraser? Okay, there's another one I'm thinking of too. Thank you, Lilith. I loved bringing Lilith up as one because of the whole, the hair back and the posture and everything's very much like this. But can I tell you, that's BB Newworth. I used to dance with her. She is not a C at all, right? She's a really outgoing, amazing person. So we can adapt our behavior to fit into certain roles. Obviously, she's an actress, but we can each adapt as well. Now, when it comes to building relationships, I believe that there are two areas. There's the science, and then there's the art. The science are the hard skills that you learn. Doing things like taking a disc so that you can figure out what style you are, so that you can adapt and learn the skills. That's the science. And the art is the intricacies of how you use it in each and every interaction. When I use my dance analogy, so I'm going to point out that I believe I come from a very classical background. So I see ballet as the science. It's what makes a dancer be able to, see, you guys, you must be loving this back there, right? Oh, I've got a couple of dancers in the room. This is awesome. So it's the technique, the placement, making sure everything is exactly where it needs to be so that you can train your body. But then later on, when I learned about different styles, and I did more jazz and modern, I realized that that's more the art from my perspective because it's the adaptation, the tweaking, the appreciation of different body types, of different styles, and how it all blends together to make a beautiful piece. So I want, as we work through the day, I want you to think about the specific concepts that we're talking about, the tools that I'm going to provide for you and that others in the room are going to provide for you, but also how it really relates in your world, how you can tweak it and massage it and make it fit so that you can create the success that you desire. Does that make sense? Okay. Why? Why do you do what you do? This is a big one. I'm going to keep coming back to it throughout the day because I think that when I was speaking to people and we were registering, it came up as a theme, and it's what guides me. The main reason I do what I do is to show my children that it is okay to follow your dreams, that you don't have to go along with everyone else, and that you can be successful that way. And because I have the time with them that I want. That's the main reason. The second very close one behind that is I love helping people. I love having someone come up to me and say, something you said clicked and changed my life. That means a great deal to me. But recently, I came up with an additional why that I want to share with you. Some of you are not from this area, but you're close enough that you remember December 14th, I'm sure. That's when the tragedy happened in Newtown. At that time, it was a shock finding out my children were in lockdown at their school and that it was so close, just unbelievable. And my father passed away 3 days later. So that was just that was a shocking time for me. So I couldn't really take action at that time. But a few weeks later, I got another call from the school that my son's school was on lockdown again. This time I was ready, and I got angry. I'm like, are you kidding? Now, just so you know, everything's fine. But I thought, somebody's got to do something about this. And the little voice said, why not you? Why not you? So I created a new program that is a very, very big why for me. When I talk with people, a lot of times it's people like you here in the room, helping them find their unique gifts. And I thought, gosh, what about helping the children to find their unique gifts so that they don't have time or energy for some of this violence? And I just thought back to my past. I had a friend, Sherry, great gal. She was a ton of fun, and she had some ideas, and all of them were immoral, and most of them were illegal. Yes. And she was fun, and so we would do a lot of stuff together. And it was about that time when I was deciding how serious to get about my dance career. And I chose, it's that fork in the road, I chose to spend less time with Sherry and to really focus on my dance. And I think it saved my life. I do. And I think that if we can help children find that gift within them, to foster it, I think that can go a long way. So I put together a program I do a lot of corporate work. I do a lot of corporate team building. And so for every company that invites me in to do a team building program, I am going to offer on either end of it to provide either for a local school or a community center, or even for within their company, just for the parents, on how to cultivate those unique gifts within our children so that they can take a different path. So that's a new why for me. So I want to encourage you. I would like to encourage you by the end of today, to figure out your why if you don't already have it. And if you have it, if it's that little voice inside of you, you know the one over here, the little voice inside of you, but you haven't been following it, I want to encourage you to follow it, because each and every one of you can make an amazing difference in the world. And some of you, I know already are. I'm sure you all are, but I don't know all the stories yet. So we're going to find out about our stories. What we're going to do is we're going to break out. I'm going to give you different topics. I mentioned actually in the literature and on the website that I want this to fit for you, where your goals are. So we're going to break out. There's going to be 5 different areas that you can choose to have conversations. And I'll have a facilitator, and we'll have questions so that you can figure out what you need within each of those topics. But I want you to go back. The reason why I did the disc has to do with how we can use it later and how we can best take action, but also within your conversations in the breakout sessions, how you can use learning more about your style and how you can adapt to be more effective, how you can use that in some of the questions. So let's talk about the different areas so you can decide where you'd like to go. Okay, so there's going to be a health area, mind, spirit, body. There'll be some questions that are specifically related to creating more vibrant energy. And can I tell, I need to point out Karen for a moment. Karen helped me out immensely. 2 days ago when I hurt my foot, this is what I was like. And it was like this big, seriously, right? It's so much better now, I can't even tell you. But she has all these crazy herbal things, and they worked. I wasn't familiar with them, but they worked. So thank you, Karen. So that has to do with health too, taking care of our body, because our body serves us. It helps to re-energize us. That's one area. The other area will be career transition. So this is if you're a little unsure where you want to go or what you want to do. You have some ideas. Should I go into corporate? Should I go out on my own? Should I go back to this other company? What do I want? You'd go to that table. Relationship. If you want to focus on either how to bring more love and passion into your current relationship, or perhaps to find a relationship that fits best for you, then you would go to the relationship table. Business growth. This is if you are an entrepreneur and you want to grow your business. You want specific strategies on what you can do to take it to the next level. And then the fifth one is vision. If you aren't really certain where you'd fit, what table to go to the vision table, because I'll have supplies where you can create a vision board. Who here has done a vision board? Some of you have. Awesome. I love that. For those of you who have not and don't really know exactly what it is, I believe in, you have to start with the big picture, right? And create a vision that's constantly reminding you exactly what you want every day. And then you have to break it down, which we're going to do later, into the actions that you have to take to create that vision. But sometimes you don't know what that vision is. So creating a visual and words that stand out for you that you can look at on a regular basis can be helpful. So I'll have supplies for that. So just to go back, there's the vision table, business growth, relationship, career transition, and health.